Eddie Doud reporting for freedomfighters.tv. I'm going to talk today about the spying scandal, the NSA spying scandal. First thing I got to say is, does this really come as a surprise to anyone? I mean, everybody's known for a long time that they are monitoring everything that we do. They've been monitoring our phone calls forever. They've been monitoring our Facebook, everything, every internet transaction. I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. This is almost common knowledge. So the page I'm going to read, it comes off the Christian Science Monitor. The title of it is George W. Obama with NSA spying. Obama feels the wrath of the left. I'm not really going to get into the beginning. It's just saying that the left is starting to come after him. Everybody's starting to come after him now. I mean, their house of cards is really coming down on them. Everything they try to pull now, they're getting caught with. They're getting caught with their pants down, so their house of cards is coming down. I was just going to scroll down, and I was going to read what they say. So, subject, of course, is government secret surveillance of phone records, a vacuum cleaner approach whose purpose of heading off terrorist attacks, but which pokes into what most people think of as private information. Let me read that again. The subject, of course, is government secret surveillance. The subject, of course, is government secret surveillance of phone records and a vacuum cleaner approach whose purpose is heading off terrorist attacks, but which pokes into what most people think of as private information. This is really stupid, because your chances of being attacked by a terrorist or being killed by a terrorist are way smaller. Terrorists didn't kill anywhere near as many people in the 20th century as governments did, as democide did. Democide killed 260 million people. I'm going to pull up the facts. I'm going to show you guys I'm going to show you guys a video, a part of a documentary, Blueprint of Madman. It's an Alex Jones documentary, and he's going to break down the information of how likely you are to be killed by a terrorist and how likely you are to be killed by your government. But I'm going to take you guys to the next part of the video, and that is going to be the part of this documentary breaking down this right here. This is bullcrap of saying that they're going to spy on you to protect you from terrorists, when what we need to be doing is protecting ourselves from government, because government killed far more people in the 20th century than terrorists did. Terrorists is such a small number compared to democide. That's what it's called, ladies and gentlemen. Democide killed 260 million people, 260 plus million people in the 20th century alone. That's what we need to be afraid of, governments, not terrorists. Terrorists don't kill nearly as many as governments. So I'm going to take you now to the video so you guys can see the facts and see them broken down by in the great documentary that Alex Jones has done. So the name of it is New World Order: Blueprint of Madmen. Alright, you can see this on Change the channel, change DA instead of the, and then channel. They have it there. This is also on the Freedom Fighters .tv YouTube channel. This is on our YouTube channel. This is on our watch list, on our documentaries list. So make sure you check out this 39-minute documentary. It's a great documentary. A lot of information in it. It breaks down the terrorist democide and everything. So I'm gonna show you guys the statistics now. All right, here you go.
We are 10 years into the biggest hoax in human history. The threat of terrorism. It is an irrational fear. It is a psychological compulsion that's been engineered into people.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Global terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism.
Terrorism, evil terrorists.
Al-Qaeda is still a threat.
Many Al-Qaeda groups or Al-Qaeda-inspired groups.
Homegrown threat.
Terrorist threat.
Attacking our homeland.
When you really pull back from a non-emotional perspective and look at this through a historical lens, you see what a hoax it is.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror.
It is absurd. It is ridiculous that the land of the free, home of the brave, is gripped in abject fear, groveling and begging for the government to take our rights, launch wars, engage in secret arrest. Trillions of dollars have been spent in the last decade on anti-terrorism. Our entire society is converting to a domestic police state. Drones in the skies. TSA sticking their hands down your pants, putting you in ionizing radiation chambers, the naked body scanners. But the system knows that it's a fraud. The system itself is actually engaging in terrorism. The truth is, government and its corporate whore media is using this hyped up threat to actually terrorize the population into giving up our basic liberties. And let's not forget that the former head of Homeland Security, Tom Ridge, a few years ago, even wrote a book admitting that they would issue terror alerts for political gain. Let's read the UN's own definition of terror that is very similar to the FBI's. Criminal acts intended or calculated to provoke a state of terror in the general public. There it is, hidden in plain view. Governments are saying, give up your rights, give us unlimited power and taxation, get behind all these wars for empire, or terrorists are going to get you. That itself is the very definition of terrorism. Now I'm going to go through some of these statistics. You've got a better chance of dying from a honeybee sting or falling down in your shower than you do of being killed by terrorists. You have a much better chance of dying water skiing or swimming in your pool or slipping in your bathtub or a deer jumping out in front of you and having a car wreck and dying than you do from terrorists. The numbers are all there. Even Scientific American a few years ago did a big breakdown on this. Let's just look at the numbers. You've got a 1 in 540 chance each and every year of developing fatal cancer. If you look at the wars launched in the name of fighting terrorists, in the case of Iraq, the Iraqis had a 1 in 1,150 chance of dying. Let's look at traffic accidents. In the year 2008, you had a 1 in 8,000 chance of dying in a car wreck. Homicide in the United States, you had a 1 in 22,000 times chance of dying. Let's take terrorism in Northern Ireland during that entire conflict from 1970 to 2007. You had a 1 in 43,000 chance of being killed. If you take all terrorism in the United States from 1970 to 2007, you had a 1 in 3.5 million chance of being killed by a terrorist. And remember, many of those terrorist attacks were actually staged or provocateured to take your freedom. We're not just going to show you the fake threat of terror. We're going to show you the real threats to human society. And we're going to expose the #1 killer of human beings in the last 100 years. This information that you're about to see could save billions of lives. And in every case, these threats flow from the global technocratic elite and their scientific dictatorship. Of all the real proven threats to humanity, none of them have killed as many people as government itself. In academia, it's known as democide. But notice, you've probably never heard that, even if you went to college. And you've certainly never seen it on the news or on the Discovery Channel. Oh no, they're too busy telling you about sharks they're going to get you any minute with Shark Week and Bin Laden and we got to stick our hands down your pants. No, you never hear about democide. And it's proven, it's on record, that governments have killed over 260 million people. It's a giant number. So big that it's even hard to grasp. That is the number one cause of unnatural death in the 20th and now 21st century. And if you look back at the eons before that, it was always number one. Look what George Washington and many others said. Government is like fire. It is a dangerous servant and a fearful master. You bet it is. 260 plus million dead. Democide. When your government kills you. To put democide into perspective, it would take 10 sports stadiums, jam-packed with 100,000 people apiece, to represent 1 million souls. China, from 1949 to 1987, the Communist Party killed 76 plus million people. And they even admit it. They're proud of it. The USSR, from 1917 to 1987, killed over 61 million people. Combined Western colonialism killed over 50 million people. Germany, under Hitler, from 1933 to 1945, killed more than 20 million people total, including their own population. Japan, during its imperial orgy, from 1936 to 1945, killed 5 plus million people. Before Mao even got into power, from 1923 to 1948, they killed right around 3.5 million. And good old Pol Pot in Cambodia, funded by the U.S. government and Zbigniew Brzezinski, from 1975 to 1979, killed around 30% of his population, 2 million. Turkey, during their genocide of the Armenians, 1.8 million. Vietnam, 1.67 million. Poland, 1.585 million. Pakistan, 1.5 plus million. Yugoslavia under Tito, 1,072,000. And the mega murder just continues. North Korea, 1.663 million. Mexico, 1,417,000. Russia, before the communists even got in, killed over 1 million. And it just goes on and on and on. For a whopping conservative total of 262 million. Government's winning the war against humanity. And let me just be clear. That's governments killing unarmed civilians. That doesn't even count military casualties. If you add those in, it's well over 350 million. So democide, or death by government, is the number one threat.
So the true threat is not terrorism. The true threat is democide. When your government kills you. If you guys listen to that, governments killed over 260 million people in the 20th century alone. Over 260 million. He calculated up to 262 million. That's a lot of people. Far more than were killed by terrorist attacks. The terrorists haven't even killed that many. You're so much more likely, like you said, to be killed in a car accident, to be killed by getting stung by a bee than you are a terrorist. So don't give up your freedoms, and don't give up your freedoms and create a police state because of fear of terrorism. These systems aren't being put here to protect us. These governments do not have any intention of protecting us. They don't care about you. They want these systems put in place so they can enslave us, they can surveil us, they can put themselves above us, and then they can, as they enslave us and bring us into a dictatorship and carry out their eugenics and their democide, which every government, when it becomes too powerful, does. Because we all know power corrupts, and absolute power absolutely corrupts. So we have to keep our governments in check. Don't allow them to become too powerful. Don't give up your guns. We have to keep these governments in check, because if we let them get too big, they will enslave us.